how to earn more and expand in your salon career. This is actually our part of our 5-day marathon. So periodically I do a marathon where I come on and I talk 5 days about any given topic. And the topic for this particular marathon is how to expand and earn more in your salon industry career. 1, 2, 3, how are you? Thank you for joining. V, hey girl, hey, how are you? Thank you for joining this evening. Um, we're gonna do day 4 today. I wasn't gonna do Sunday, but I switched out and took Saturday off and chose Sunday as the day to come on with you guys. And I wanted to tell you guys that because some of you have been meaning to go live, or maybe you have different fears, or you don't know what to say on your live broadcast. And I want to say that it's not, I love it, right? But there are times, like it's Sunday, it's raining here. I've eaten about 3 bowls of black eyed peas and rice, and it's just been really a comfortable day. And so me coming on live on a Sunday is solely and completely about a few things. One, when you understand that you have an assignment, right? When you have something that you really believe in, that is valuable to other people, then your consistency, it just happens, right? You just do it. And so many of you who have goals and dreams in your salon industry career, there are days where it's not like you're jumping for joy to go and do it, but it's just part of who you are and part of what that you give to the world, or how you operate for your clients, or whatever it is your why is that's behind what you do. So that's why I'm here on a Sunday, because once you're really, really clear on what you desire in your salon career and what you deserve, in your life and business, consistency is no longer an issue. It's like it becomes part of what you do, right? And so if you struggle somewhat with consistency, then one, you may not be really, really clear on what it is that you really, really desire. Because once you become clear of what that thing is, how you desire for it to look, and what you want to be in the marketplace, even for your business, then consistency, it just becomes this natural flow that even when you may not emotionally feel like it, you're doing it on purpose, right? So I encourage you guys who are struggling with areas of consistency in your salon career, or some things that you need to do in order for you to level up and actually have the capacity for your next level, because you're exceptional, right? And when you're exceptional, then there's always another level for you that you deserve and normally desire. And so if you're struggling with consistency somewhat, then there's probably just another level of clarity that you need. And it's so funny because I don't have like this huge script or planned out broadcast, although I do feel it's divine, because I had written a topic, but I just, hadn't filled it in like all day, what I would share with you guys. And, I feel the perfect topic kind of came to mind. But, one of the things that I'm sharing with my mentorship and branding group tomorrow, coaching call, is going to be on decluttering. And, as I'm talking to you guys about, maybe consistency with some things that you may know will help your business that you kind of struggle to do, whenever that consistency it's like a huge struggle to do it, then it's often something in the way, right? Like whenever we desire next level, or we have a desire for next level, then it always means that something has to be shifted, removed, or there's something that you got to fall back on in order to receive what's needed for you to go to the next level. So that's not even what we were going to talk about, but it just came to mind when I was thinking about consistency. And one of the things, or some of the things that kept me from being consistent on things that I knew I desired, in my career years ago. And it was really just some things that I needed to get out of the way, right? So that I could actually do the things that were most important. So quick introduction for those of you who are catching me on the replay. Hey there, Ratilia. Hey, darling. Haven't seen you in a while on social media. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. So, for those of you who've never been on with me before, I'm Tanya Wilson Cherry, beauty business consultant and certified life coach. I operate from a transformational space. Hey, Tamika, darling, how are you? Where I talk about mindset, personal development, and business building. So, I teach from a full circle perspective. Um, because it's necessary, guys. It's just necessary. It's like our business doesn't, it only grows to the measure that we grow. And so, in order for me to feel that I'm providing the most value, a month of Sundays. Oh, awesome. So, in order for me to feel I'm providing the most value for you guys, I felt I was doing a disjustice to only talk about strategies for, like marketing and things like that, because mindset is a strategy, guys. Mindset is a strategy. Somebody, even if you're on now, or maybe you'll come on the replay, put mindset is a strategy, because you guys hear me say all the time, your mind has a lot to do with your money and everything else you set out to do. And so as we elevate in our thinking and what we feel is possible for us, we then align with the practical things, right? The things that you actually have to put in place to align with, that up-leveled mindset that make next level actually manifest, where it becomes tangible and it's just not something that we're just thinking about, but it's now something physical that's actually happening, in our lives. And so that's the reason why I teach from a full circle perspective. So my clients can get an added level of value. So on today, mindset is a strategy. Absolutely, it's a strategy. Hey, Sharonda, darling, how are you? Thank you for joining this Sunday evening. It's an odd day for me to be on, but I'm being consistent, right? Because I said I would complete the 5-day marathon that we're doing on how to earn more and expand in your salon career. So the topic that I originally had down for you guys was blogging, right? And I'm just, guys, the Holy Spirit is just so perfect and so divine, because I hadn't really gone deep into writing out, how I would share, that blogging allows you to expand. And earlier, the Holy Spirit dropped in my thoughts. Hey, Beauty Palace, how are you? The Holy Spirit dropped in my thoughts about writing. So that's what I want to share with you guys. I want to share some benefits of writing and how it helps you to expand and earn more in your salon career. And before I even get into blogging, I'm just going to share with you guys what writing kind of does for me. So it's amazing, because many of us have gifts that we don't always recognize because we do it all the time. And some of them have been cultivated organically, right? We just do that thing all the time. How many of you have something that as you got a little older or further in your career, more advanced in your career, you realize, hey, I'm pretty good at this, or I actually really enjoy this and I wouldn't mind becoming better at it, right? Oftentimes those are, gifts that we don't always know that we have, that need to be cultivated. And so I can remember things like my mom. I remember when my mom got married, she asked me to write in her wedding book. She would always say, you have such great penmanship, which has nothing to do with being a good writer. And I think I'm an average writer, but I enjoy writing. And there are some things that writing does for me that I want to share with you guys. And so if you haven't taken on I don't even want to call it a task, let's call it a strategy, right, of writing, I encourage you to do that. And I forget that these comments on my PC, they move up. So let me move up with them. Okay, yes, Tamika says mindset is a strategy. So one of the things I was telling you guys, like even when I was younger, I found probably about 4 years ago, I found a poem book where me and some of my classmates from the 6th grade, guys, had written poems. And I went back and I read my poem and I was like, wow, where did I get the thinking from? It was as if I was looking at, what someone else, had written. And then I also remember maybe like in 2001, I believe, somewhere around that time, I actually wrote out like this 20-year plan. right? I wrote out this 20-year plan, and I don't know where I got the idea from, but I lost that journal that I was writing, or I misplaced the journal that I was writing that 20-year plan in. And then maybe 5 years later, I found it. 4 years later, I found it in 2000, no, five. And I can remember that because I wrote down when I would have my first child, and the fact that it would be a girl. I wrote down her name and all of those things. So I didn't end up naming her what I wanted, because at that time I wasn't married, and that was, my husband didn't agree with the name, so we came up with another one. But there were so many things that I had written down. Like, I'd even written down the date that I would open my salon. Now, mind you, I had not seen this journal for some years, right? I wrote down the date that I would open my salon, and several other things. I wrote down that I would be certified in real estate. I had gone and gotten my real estate certificate. Just so many things that had transpired just from me writing it down that one time. And so writing has been very powerful for me. As I've grown and understood how we create and how we manifest things here in the natural, we're taking them, and I don't want to go too far for the broadcast, but we're taking them from the spirit realm. And hey, Andrea, how are you, dear Jacqueline? Hey, girl. Hey, thank you for joining, guys. If you don't mind, could you share the broadcast with someone else this Sunday evening? It's not a normal day for me, and I would love for as many people as possible to get the message. I feel that writing is something that everyone can do. It doesn't necessarily have to be writing for someone else. I'm going to share with you guys how writing privately, right, has helped me in my career. So I began to see, well, as I began to study spiritually, one of my favorite scriptures, and a friend of mine shared the scripture with me when I was a little newer to the faith. Hey, dear. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain. And if it tarries, it won't tarry, right? And so I realized that I actually, thank you for sharing, Andrea. I appreciate that. I realized that I had actually been writing the vision and making it plain, which is some of the reason that some things have been manifesting for me. So when I say writing, guys, I don't necessarily mean you have to write so that someone else can see it. Even if you just start in a space where you're writing for you, right? Start in a space where you're writing for you. So I'm going to share some things that writing has helped me to do. One, writing allows me to step outside of busy. Writing allows me to step outside of busy. And I'm around, guys, to how you can expand and earn more in your salon career. I'm going to tie it all in, right? But writing allows me to step outside of busy, because whenever you sit down to write, you pretty much are in a space where you're shutting down either your day or, all of the external things that are going on, and you're just one with the pen and the paper and your thoughts. And, if you're a believer, you're one with, Holy Spirit as well. But it allows me to step outside of busy. And busy can sometimes be the enemy to our next level. I'm going to say that one more time. Busy can often be the enemy to our next level, because what busy normally is routinely doing a lot of things, unaware of what's working and what's not working, right? So busy is like routinely doing stuff and, not slowing down to take the time to really process whether the actions that we're taking are causing us to profit, keeping us at a standstill, or just not allowing us to grow. And so even if we're at a standstill, we're not growing, right? So you're either growing, you're either moving forward, or you're not. Andrea says, write the vision and make it plain so that they that come behind it can carry it forward. Absolutely. What you're writing down should be so clear that if someone else was to read it, they would be able to run with it, right? They would be able to take what you wrote and follow the guidelines or the words that you've written, and actually carry it out as well, or even understand it fully, right? So making it plain. And so writing, for me, helps me to step outside of busyness so that I can really take a look at my best thoughts, my best thoughts. Second thing writing allows me to practice a form of great communication. Writing allows me to practice a form of great communication. Sharonda said, busy doesn't mean productive. It just doesn't, right? And sometimes we need a break from the routine to actually process, what it is that we're doing. And writing helps me. Writing helps me to practice a form of great communication. Can anyone guess what that form of great communication is? Because oftentimes when we think communication, we think someone who is able to articulate what they're saying so that someone can understand them, or someone who speaks well. That's often what we think about when we think of communication. But one of the best forms of communication is actually listening. One of the best forms of communication is actually listening. And so when you're writing, you're actually listening, right? You're listening to your thoughts, you're listening to your desires, you're listening to your heart, right? And so writing allows me to practice a form of great communication because I'm in a space of listening. The next thing that it allows me to do is begin the process of creating and manifesting. And I kind of touched bases on that just a little bit when I first started off. Writing allows me to begin the process of creating and manifesting. And writing is going to allow you guys to do the same things, right? It's going to give you time to stop the busyness and actually sit still. It's going to allow you to practice a great form of communication. You're going to need the form of communication called listening if you're planning on growing your business. One of the reasons that my clients who are working with me are getting great results is only because I'm listening to them, right? As I work with them, I'm listening. I'm listening even when I'm online. If I see someone who I feel is my ideal customer, I'm listening to what they're saying. I can hear what they may need next for their next level. And so I create from that space. I also create from a space of intuition where, I'm thinking or discerning, rather. Let me use that word because some stuff get a little spooky, but but we all have, intuition. I was thinking of the book that T.D. Jakes wrote. Gosh, what was that book called? I can't remember what that book was called, but it was somewhere on those lines. But anyway, it allows me to like discern like what my clients need so that I can help them on a greater level. And that's crucial for you guys as you're working with your clients and your customers, that you're listening to them, right? Not just about their hair. Lord, y'all don't hear me. Not just about their hair, because you can't help someone that you don't understand. You can't help someone that you don't understand. And so you're in a place of leadership when you're behind the chair, when you're servicing your clients, or when you're a salon owner. And so your ability to listen and understand, it creates another level of value in the eyes of your customers, your staff, or some of you may teach in the industry, even the people that you're teaching. So writing is going to allow you another form of a great piece of communication, and that's becoming a great listener. Listening is huge, guys, because it's only through listening that you're actually aware. You guys know now a lot of people talk about being woke. It's really just being aware and conscious of your thoughts and what's really real and what's going on around you. And so writing actually allows you, to rest in that space of awareness where you're really listening to what's going on. You're not just doing stuff. You're thinking. One of the things I do normally at the end of my day is I kind of sit and think about how my day went. Did I say something that was was not, I could have said it differently. How could I have said things differently? Is there an opportunity for me to, correct something that I could have done better? And I share with those of you who follow me that one of the practices that I've taken on recently is writing in a gratitude journal. So every night I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. And just that small space of writing time alone has been so impactful and so powerful. And, I like to think that um, all of what we're doing, we build how we feel, right? You guys have heard me say that we build our business based on how we feel. And I feel when you're in a space of gratitude and you're really aware. So for me, writing it down, I become like really intentional about it. Not just the thought, Lord, I'm grateful, because I may say those things throughout the day, but writing it down makes you really begin to feel it. And whenever you operate from a space of gratitude, that's what you put out into the atmosphere, right? And so we're constantly attracting things back into our life and our business. Eclectic beauty, how are you? We're constantly attracting things back into our life and our business based on how we feel. And so writing allows you to express that. Writing allows you to begin the process of creating and manifesting, because you guys know that it starts with a thought, and then if you notice how even scripturally, for those of you who are kingdom entrepreneurs, where it says write the vision, make it plain, right? So you got to know that there's got to be some type of reaction to you writing, or it wouldn't be in scripture, right? It just would not be in. God doesn't have, he's not asking us to do anything that doesn't serve a higher purpose for us. All of it is instructions. All of it is a set of instructions that's for our good. And so he wouldn't even bother to put write the vision, make it plain in scripture if it didn't have a positive impact on your life, your business, and your career. So one of the ways that you guys can earn more and expand is to get in the habit of writing. There are so many benefits to writing. So we have about 50 to 70 thoughts going on in our mind every day, just all the time, right? And so if you have a goal or something that you want to prioritize so that you can smash it and get it done, writing it down makes it real. It no longer has to compete with those other 50 to 70,000 thoughts that are constantly going through your head at all times, right? It creates a separate space for you to focus intentionally and fully on those things that you're writing. And so my original topic was to talk about blogging, but I feel that talking about writing is like the lead to actually blogging, right? So if you begin to practice behind the scenes, because I believe that everything that we do at home, everything that we do behind the scenes is just an opportunity for us to practice for what we're going to do in the marketplace and what we're going to do in public. So what we do at home, it shows up all the time in what, hey, Deborah, how are you, dear? And what we're doing in the marketplace. And so practicing writing at home is, if many of you probably used to journal or used to write, I want to challenge and encourage you to pick the pen and paper back up again, because you'll find that many of your dreams or goals that you had, they lie dormant on the paper that you left them on, right? Maybe go back and read some of those journals, but just get into the habit of writing again. But as it relates to actually blogging, you guys know once you begin to blog, or maybe you don't, there is a thing called search engine optimization, right? This is connected to the World Wide Web. So you actually, when you're blogging, you're creating more awareness for your business. So people from all over, when we Google, a lot of the articles and things that we're actually reading are from people's blogs, right? And so if you're in the habit of practicing and writing, you can actually transfer that that writing process or practice that you're cultivating behind the scenes in your own personal time to a blog. It will also help you when writing newsletters for your clients and customers, because many of you should indulge in some form of email marketing because it helps you stay connected with your clients, right? And because if we're out of sight, we're out of mind, right? But also it helps you to provide another level of value about your promotions, your products, your services. You keep your customers. It's a client attraction system, and it's also a system that helps your retention process, right? So if you're practicing writing in your personal life, when it's time to go write the newsletter, it's not going to be an issue. So many of you may struggle with actually having an email list or creating newsletters for your customers that you do monthly because you aren't in the practice of writing. So I just wanted to challenge you guys tonight to pick up the pen and paper again if you haven't, and begin just writing personally for yourself. It's going to help you to remove some of the busyness and really think and process what you're doing in your day and what's transpiring and whether or not you're actually profiting with some of the things that you're doing. It's also going to give you a space of creativity where you're writing things down. And then I want you guys to just simply align with some of those things that you're writing down, because writing is one of the beginning processes of creating things and manifesting. So one of the things that I did in my salon, I created a front desk training manual. I created a junior stylist program. I would create programs all the time, and I would create them with ease. But I truly believe when I look back on it now, it's because I've been in the practice of writing. I remember writing letters to my coworkers on their birthday. It would be a full-on, letter. And one of the young ladies that used to work with me before I opened my salon, this is when I was a booth renter, years and years later showed me a letter, that when I read it, I was like, what was I mean, I didn't even, at the time, one, I wasn't saved. I was partying, clubbing, going to the mall. And so when I look back at the letter, I was like, that's kind of heavy for back then. But I believe that those personal practices of writing and journaling helped me when it was time for my business. It helps me with my posts on social media. There's so many, I can't even begin to explain the benefits of writing, but I just want to challenge you guys to begin writing again if you have stopped. How many of you journal now or used to journal, and at some point you put it down? Let's see if I got any people up here that write, used to write, need to start writing once again. If you do journal, put I do in the comments. Andrea says it moves the written thought out of the position of jockeying for mental priority space. Absolutely. So it takes its rightful place. It's like when you write, it becomes real. As long as it's in your head, it's really just a thought. I heard this phrase some years ago. It said, if your dreams aren't written down on paper with a strategy and a plan, you're still in the dreaming stages. If your dreams aren't written on paper with a strategy and a plan, you're still in the dreaming stages. So let's get some of those dreams and those goals and those visions that have been placed on the inside of you. Let's get some of those out and put them actually on paper, right? Where they can become real, where they're no longer dreams anymore, but they're actually beginning to be strategic plans that you can walk out and begin to see them actually manifest into your life. For those of you who, would love to know more about blogging, I actually have a training on blogging inside the Mind Your Business Beauty Camp membership site that I offer. It's a 12-module membership site with marketing and business building. Hey Hope, how are you, dear? Resources for stylists and salon owners. And so there's a little bit of something for not everyone, but for many salon professionals who really want to do business, right? They really want to do business. They really want to market their business differently. There are many trainings inside of that. And for now, I think it ends on Monday. It's only $39.99 to join that membership site, but there is a training in there on blogging, how it talks about the different places that you can go to start your blog, picking your domain name, what you can write on your blogs, talks about things that you can actually write about. But I've had clients to tell me, I followed you before they actually came, to do business with me. I followed you on your blog. And so, guys, I want you guys to think from a space that I am always creating clients, right? I am always creating clients. And you do that through different systems that you put in place. And so blogging is one of those systems that I talk about, how you can attach different links and all of those things to your blogging. For those of you who've been nervous about posting on social media, what to say, your communication with clients, begin practicing your writing at home, right? Let's say your first ministry starts at home, right? So whatever it is that you do behind the scenes is simply practice for what you'll do in the marketplace. And many of you will find great pleasure in writing personally. You'll see the benefits. You can release things, right, that you're just keeping pent up inside your heart and your head. You can go back and look maybe a month or two later to see where your thinking is, because many of you may need to just shift your thinking some, but you may not be aware of what, where your thinking actually is. But if you're journaling, it gives you something you can go back and say, hey, this is why I'm not manifesting on this level, because my thinking and my thoughts are kind of here. And so I need to raise my vibration or my frequency or my thought process. That's what that is. Frequency, vibration. It is your thought process. It is the realm from which your thinking is coming. Is your thinking coming from a low space, or is your thinking coming from a high space? So you guys may see me say, raise your vibration, right? I mean, raise your energy, raise your thought process so that it aligns with where you really desire to be. And if you have been journaling, you can go back and really assess, like whenever you have an issue or problem or someone that you're dealing with, even if someone has offended you, this is heavy right here, even if someone has offended you or done you wrong, your harvest is going to be how you respond to them, right? So sometimes we write to release things so that we're not putting them out in the atmosphere, so we don't have to reap that type of harvest. So, writing can be very therapeutic as well, just to help you process your thoughts and actually make sure that you're putting the right words out into the atmosphere, because every time you speak, you plant a seed. Every time you speak, you plant a seed. So if you're wondering what the rest of 2018 will look like, or if you're wondering what next year will look like, or even tomorrow or the next day, it's going to be from the words that you've spoken, right? So if you're talking about next level, if you're talking about your greatness, if you're in a space of gratitude, I shared the gratitude journal concept with you guys. Even if your writing is about next level, then you can be more assured of moving to your next level than you would if you're speaking from a low vibration, if your thoughts and thinking is from a low vibration. So that's my broadcast for you guys today. I just wanted to challenge you guys to begin, writing. Take up writing as a strategy, for you, right? Remember, I said it allows you to step outside of busyness. Set out a time every day that you're just going to write. Start with 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be, I'm here to write for, an hour or whatever. Start small, right? Set a date. Set a time each day that you'll write. If it's nothing but your thoughts, it can be a whole dump list. You can write a dump list of all the things that you don't like that are going on in your life, and then on the next page, change those things that you don't like to I am statements, right? So now you reverse that. Like if you need a new vehicle, right? One of the things that you might not like that's going on for you now may be that you need better transportation. So on the next page, you may say, I have a reliable vehicle that's well kept and paid for and debt free, right? A newer model vehicle that's paid for, well kept, and now you're changing what you're speaking, right? Because a lot of times we're constantly talking about what we don't have and what we need, and so we're attracting those things right back into our life. And one of the ways to check what you're thinking is to, just write your thoughts down on paper and then kind of go back and look at it. So writing also allows you to practice a form of great communication, which is listening. And writing is the beginning process of creating and manifesting. I've looked back so many times where I've written things down, and a year or two later, sometimes months, depending on where my vibration is, where my level of faith is, and how much I'm constantly looking at what I've written, those things manifest. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. You can also align your writing with your post. The practice writing that you're doing at home helps you to post more effectively on social media to actually reach your ideal customers in a new way, right? So it helps with your marketing. It helps with you know if you want to blog or also do newsletters for your clients. So those are my thoughts on today. Does anyone have any questions? How to earn more and expand in your salon career. Some of the things, guys, they're so practical that we overlook them. It couldn't be that. It couldn't be that simple, right? That's what we think a lot of times. It just really couldn't be that simple. And so we find ourselves, with shiny object syndrome, when in actuality, there are some basic foundational things that we can cultivate and do over and over and over again that will allow us to earn more, and expand in our salon career. So those are my thoughts for today. I will see you guys on tomorrow at my normal scheduled broadcast. For those of you who like to reach me outside of Facebook, you can always do that at renewfullcircle.com. For those of you who like to join our membership, it's $39.99 a month. You can go and take a look at that at renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. Not only do you have access to business and marketing training for hairstylists and salon owners, but you also have an opportunity to coach with me once a month. So if you're watching the trainings and you're like, can you help me with a strategy for this? Then I support you in that way once a month. And then you're also connected to other hairstylists and salon owners that help you with your accountability. So that promotion is only $39.99 for the first month. Or if you say, this is something that I could use the entire year, right now it's only $347. You actually save $250 paying for the entire year and getting access, which gives you about 5 months free of the membership site. But other than that, I challenge you, pick up the pen and paper, guys. For those of you who have a love for writing, and because you're a stylist now, you kind of put the pen down, pick it back up. It will help you expand and grow in so many ways in your career. Have a super, super amazing, blessed Sunday. Peace.